Yeah, don't worry. I'll back up. Just give it a sec. Oh, is he off now? Okay. Hey, how you doing? Joe here. Thanks for coming and checking out another video on the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Today we're taking a look at something that you would have seen from the shorts videos. And yes, I'm on camera today because I have the wrong camera mount. But today, you and I are going to be taking a look at a Hi-Point 10mm, or as I call it, the Big Yeet Brother. This is a 10mm that was introduced at SHOT Show, and it got a lot of hype, and a lot of people really do like it, and it caught a lot of people by attention. I don't know if those were the right words, but you and I are going to take a look at it. This one came from Middletown Firearms in Middletown, Virginia. Check them out. Good people, good friends. They hooked me up, and now I get to show this thing to you. So it's either a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not really saying. You'll have to go there and check them out. But chambered in 10mm and comes with 10-round capacity. So this gun, as big and ugly as it is, has better capacity than my daily carry 1911. Show you that's clear because we'll be using this for comparison's sake during the video. Hi-Point is based out of Ohio, according to this, Mansfield, and they make an inexpensive firearm. Very maligned in the industry, especially by people that don't know anything, for being junk. And that couldn't be more left to the center of truth. What I mean by that is these are very inexpensive guns. However, if they're treated right and with respect, they do have the ability to run. You have to run the right ammunition, the right loads, etc. And then you can actually wind up with a pretty reliable firearm. Why do these guns exist? Well, the people at Hi-Point realize that there's a market for inexpensive firearms that can run and do the job, so they set out to make one. And typically the lineup before COVID was in the $130 to $160 range. During COVID, they went upwards of $250, which was to be expected during a pandemic. Everything just skyrockets. And now that the pandemic is over, they are back to making more reasonably priced entries into the firearms market. They do carbines, pistols, etc. Actually, not etc., because that's what they make, pistols and carbines. When they announced this at 2023, nobody was really prepared for it. They had heard rumors, mainly because this is a Big Brother version of a gun they promised years ago and still have yet to deliver. And that is the Yeet Cannon, the YC9. It was teased, it was joked about, it was shown at SHOT Show, and then nothing happened. And it was shown again this year at SHOT Show, but they also showed this one. And the fact that this one came to market with many of the things that the Yeet Cannon is supposed to have is pretty impressive. This gun has a lightened slide. As you can see, it's got some angled cuts. It's actually tri-topped, which is interesting. Sorry, every time I say this, it makes me laugh. It has anti-glare serrations on a $200 gun, has front and rear slide serrations, which are actually usable considering this slide itself weighs more than my lightweight Arctic. Yet I'm still able to grab it and do this. Interesting, right? Blowback will do that to you. Has a set of sights on here that are removable in the back and use a Glock style front post. So if you go through the effort of taking it apart, technically you can put a Glock front, and you can even put an optic on the back because this whole plate comes out, and then you can get an adapter that will allow you to mount an RMR, etc. They are going to be selling those separate. It's how you keep costs down. Does come with the Ghost Ring sight right out of the box. Has a manual safety on the strong side only, and it does have a magazine disconnect, meaning cannot pull the trigger unless the magazine is in it. No lockback other than last round with the mag inserted. But the only way to drop the mag then is, drop the slide is to drop the mag and then release it. This gun has a pick rail on the front, 1913 style. However, I mounted a laser to it because I was being, well, goofy. I also have a TLR-7, which costs more than the gun, and I didn't feel like putting it on. This gun also has a threaded barrel, which is something that we will be playing with here in 2023 on the show. I've applied for them, but with the pistol brace and all the ATF brouhaha going on, things are taking longer than they used to. However, Middletown Firearms, the store I work for, is Class 3. We have SOTs. My suppressors are actually at the store. And if we use our license at the range, I believe I can take them there and shoot them. So we'll have to see how it does in the future. But it is a threaded barrel, and my Osprey 45 should bolt right to it. This is, showing clear again, a striker fired gun with a rudimentary sight picture unless you are using a optic. The ejection port is about the same size as it was on the 45 or even the 40. Has an external extractor there. You can see it uses a lot of roll pins and a lot of cheaper materials, polymer frame. Early JHPs were actually a metal frame, but they went through the effort of molding it with a finger groove here, which does allow you to get a full grip on the gun. The side panels are stippled and they have the Hi-Point logo embedded in them. It's a little bit chunky this way. It's wider than the top of the gun, which is somehow impressive and weird at the same time. Has a very wide trigger guard. However, the trigger guard itself is short front to back. So you can see I have regular size hands for somebody about 6 feet tall, and my hand is not very comfortable in that trigger guard. Wearing gloves is not recommended. Has a very standard mag release here on the strong side. Magazine release works well. Mags are not drop free, which is a very typical thing that you see when you have magazine disconnects. Let's talk about the trigger pull. The trigger pull on this is not terrible. It really isn't. Let's go ahead here, make sure it's empty, and 5.5 maybe. Drop the mag so that we can cycle it. Put the mag back in. The downside is there is no real reset for this gun. As you can see, no click. You basically let it all the way back out, go into the next shot, and it fires. Again, not a bad break. I was able to run Smoke and Hope pretty quickly in the shorts video. Check out the shorts section so you can see that 60-second range time with the high PC, I think I called it. It does have horizontal serrations on the front and back strap, which is impressive because my $750 Beretta RDX only has vertical ones. The fact that this company was forward thinking to realize, hey, you need more grip this way, not this way, is pretty impressive. Overall dimensions, 52 ounces. It has a barrel length of 5 inches, 5.2 inches. As you can see, this is a 5-inch 1911. Very similar in terms of length. Width, you can see a 1911 and 45 is much thinner. And the weight, this is the Arctic lightweight, so instead of weighing 38 or 39 ounces, this weighs 33 ounces. However, this thing feels like a feather compared to this guy. Nearly a pound heavier right there. That's a lot of metal. It actually feels very much like my Desert Eagle. Follow me for that video. This guy was actually more fun than I expected at the range, and it was more accurate than I expected. I even hit the Texas Star a few times with it. We put a box of ammo through it, just 50 rounds, because I wasn't filming a video for this gun at the range. And it shot every round, never had a failure outside of the first round going in, kind of hiccuped on the chamber. Brand new gun, that can happen, but every round fired and ejected, never had a problem. That was impressive. Good job, Hi-Point. Downside to a Hi-Point. Well, number one, the construction isn't the best. Not terrible, but not the best. This is like a Saturday night special kind of gun. But the biggest single downfall to a Hi-Point, if you want to call it that, is the metal that it is made out of. It's made out of a ZMAC, which is a zinc alloy combination of cheaper and inferior would be not quite the word I'd want to use, but a less desirable mixture that is a very porous gun. In fact, when you see Hi-Points that fail around the ejection port where they actually crack the entire slide, that's actually because the metal dried out. This metal can lose all of its lubrication over time. And if you buy one of these guns and you just bought it for a truck gun, you're throwing it in the toolbox, whatever, you could run into a situation where someday you're going to go to run it and you can't because it snaps in half because it dried out and it became brittle. So one way to protect your investment is to oil your slide regularly. Now, when I clean my guns, I oil them anyways. I think it's nice. It makes them run good. However, this one, you have to take extra care to make sure that you even get the outside, a nice coating of oil. It doesn't have to stay slick, but rub it in, make sure that it is nice and saturated so that this gun runs. Lube is your friend when it comes to a Hi-Point. What are future plans with this gun? Well, I will be mounting a Surefire X300 Turbo under there, so might as well put like a $300 light on there. I'll be putting a $1,000 suppressor on there. I'll be putting an SRO on the top, which is like $600-700 optic. You know, let's go ahead and put 10 times the money in accessories onto a gun than the gun itself. No, not really, but I think it'll be funny to see how it does on some steel match stuff. So I'll have Jim, my range instructor, compete with me. And we're going to do the dueling tree. I'm going to be running the high point. He's going to be running one of his custom CZs. And if I beat him, he has to teach his concealed carry class with this gun. You think I can beat him? Oh yeah, he only gets to load his mags to 5, and he shoots fast. So we will have to wait and see what happens there. If you like this kind of video, don't forget to subscribe. Come back for more. To the people that have signed up and become members, this is a special part of the video only for you guys. If you made it this far, type members or I want to be a member down below. I'm not doing Patreon. My Patreon account was hacked, and I'm not going to go through the effort of setting up another one. Google AdSense is already set up, so if you become a member, you'll help the channel grow. I'm not really doing much in the way of special stuff right now because I'm still getting caught up, but when I do start doing more special stuff, being a member will gain you special access. Being a member also allows you to ask special requests and questions, and I will answer those first. If you need me to demonstrate something on a gun, best way to disassemble it, how to put a magwell on, whatever the case may be, I can show you that, and we can have some fun with stuff like that. You're just also helping me pay for ammunition and my time and gas, etc. to go and make these videos. So the more you guys can see your way to helping the channel grow, the more stuff I can do for it. So I think that's about it. I know I didn't take it apart. It has a roll pin they have to knock out. I'm not going to do that tonight. I don't want to take the chance of losing the roll pin and not being able to put it back together. Plus, it's a high point. I'm going to run it till it stops running. Then I'll take it apart and see if there's any damage. Kind of a test-ish. So if you want to see more on that, come back for that. I will be doing a range video with my Kimber because I never did a 100-round video with it, and I feel I should do that. We'll do different ammos and see how I can run some stages with a gun that only holds 8, because that's another thing I want to disprove, that only having 8 is inferior to having a Glock with 19 rounds. That's not true in the least. So come back for that. Make sure you become a member. Leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, tell all your friends, go outside and buy a balloon. Don't paint a China flag on it, but buy a balloon, put it up in the air that says the Jiminy Show, whatever you guys want to do. Come back for more. Oh, I'm also going to be doing spring. Anyways, getting off track. Come back for more. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay? Thank you.
You're so pretty. You're so pretty. Yes, you